A lovely good evening and a very warm welcome to our main news bulletin at 19:30 on Camnet TV. Let's look at some of the top stories in the news. 4 health workers arrested for stealing health kits. NAPSA members bemoan the pace of claiming their partial benefits. Given LUBINDA'S application to refer his corruption case to the High Court declined. In our international headlines, more bodies dug up in Kenya court investigation. And in sports, Zambia beat Senegal in an international friendly encounter. We have the details shortly after this message.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for joining us once more to present the news. My name is Louisiana Lupumbwe. 4 health workers have been arrested by police in connection with the theft of medical kits worth 2.8 million kwacha. And now speaking when he displayed the medical kits at Matero Police Station Monday, Lusaka Province Police Commissioner Creto Kanza says the 4 suspects, who include a driver, 2 lab technicians and a general worker, stole the medical kits that were destined for Matero Level 1 Hospital last month. Meanwhile, police have also arrested 9 people in connection with criminal activities that have been happening around the University of Zambia and East Park Mall area. The commissioner says the suspects are also believed to be behind the killing of Levi Mwanawasa medical student earlier this year. We have details in this report.
Berets on, boots tied, and guns loaded, men and women in uniform in Lusaka are leaving no stone unturned in fighting criminals who have been terrorizing community members. An operation conducted in Lusaka has led police officers to this hideout for 30 criminals between Nasdaq and East Park Mall who have been behind the spark in criminal activities around this area, including at the University of Zambia, where most students have been attacked and their properties stolen. Lusaka Province Police Commissioner Creto Kanza, who led journalists to the hideout, says 9 criminals have so far been arrested and that 1 has already been identified by a victim who was attacked around 20 hours at East Park Mall.
Where we are here, this is a hideout for a gang of criminals that has been terrorizing Lusaka, attacking people, especially those that are coming from East Park Mall and also University of Zambia. As you can see here that this is Kalingalinga, and the students, some of them have boarding houses there. So when they go there in the late hours, they are attacked by these criminal thugs. So we picked, yesterday we picked 9. And just yesterday, again Chawama, we apprehended 87.
The commissioner also says the suspects are believed to have been behind the murder of a Levi Mwanawasa medical student earlier this year at the University of Zambia, where he was in the company of his cousin.
But they may be, we believe they are suspected to be those that caused the attacked the Levi Mwanawasa university student. You remember early this year, 2 students were attacked and we lost life there.
So we urge the students to be careful. We want to mention the surrounding here does not favor anyone to move late in the night. You can see, so we urge our colleagues, the students, to always be careful, not to move when it's dark, because it poses a security threat to anyone. So this is a message that we are sending to the student out there.
Meanwhile, police have also arrested 4 health workers, among them 2 lab technicians, a driver and a general worker, for the theft of medical kits worth 2.8 million kwacha, which were destined for Matero Level 1 Hospital and other health facilities in the district.
I believe that these people that they've been going to the provincial office for requisition of medical supplies. So now, before they could deliver to the clinic, that is Chipata Level 1 hospital, they could deliver less. After getting more from the provincial office and district office, then they deliver less to the clinic and the hospital respectively. So far we have 4 in custody in relation with the theft of these drugs. They are valued at 2.8 million.
The men and women in uniform have since sent a strong warning to would-be offenders, including gang members, locally known as junkies, to be on the lookout. Reporting for Camnet News.
Thank you, Prudence, for that report. Now, Kalikiliki Ward 35 Councillor Shadrack Mwanza has bemoaned the rise in criminal activities in his ward, which has been as a result of failure by police to respond to urgent calls due to lack of a police vehicle at the police post. In an interview, Mr. Mwanza explains that he has on several occasions been forced to use money from his pocket to finance police movement in cases where crime has occurred, and that his pockets can no longer sustain the operations. He has since called on the Minister of Home Affairs to consider grabbing one of the parked vehicles in some ministries and allocate it to Kalikiliki Police Post so that officials can have a mode of transportation to fight crime in the area. And Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale says his office is aware of the challenge that Kalikiliki Post is facing and has appealed to the Ward Development Committee to consider budgeting for a vehicle under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. We have details in this report.
The rise in the population of Kalikiliki compound in Lusaka has resulted in the rise in crime being committed, and police officers have been failing to respond to urgent calls by community members due to lack of a police vehicle at the only police post in the area. Kalikiliki Ward 35 Councillor Shadrack Mwanza has told Camnet News that he has in most incidences been forced to use resources from his own pocket to pay for police movement in cases where crime has been committed, but feels he no longer has the capacity to do so.
The police have no transportation. So as a councillor, you have to be there, you have to provide transportation, and also police officers are using their own vehicles to go and follow crime. Me as an area councillor, I won't be managing to release a transportation, to be booking canters. If somebody maybe we find a dead body in the house, I release money for transportation. I won't be managing, I only get a 3,000.
He has since appealed to the Ministry of Home Affairs to consider grabbing one of the vehicles not in use in some ministries and allocate it to Kalikiliki Police Post so that officers can quickly respond whenever they are called upon.
So my appeal, and it has been my appeal to the minister, to all ministries, because we have government offices who are having these vehicles that are just packed, and sometimes maybe every year they put them on auction. So why can't the government just go to some of these offices and just get even a Pajero or Hilux and give it to Kalikiliki Police Post?
Meanwhile, Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale has acknowledged the challenges that some police posts are facing when it comes to transportation, hence appealing to ward development committees to consider where possible to budget for police vehicles in their wards, as this is one way of helping police fight crime.
You've heard time and again the government has assured the members of the public that very soon the Zambia police will be supplied with motor vehicles. So we just appeal to the members of the public to be calm, and for now let's do with what we have. We have to fight crime, whether with vehicles or without vehicles. It is our duty to fight the crime that is being reported in various parts of Mtendele and Kalikiliki.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet News.
And in other news, people have continued to flock to the National Pension Scheme Authority NAPSA headquarters in Lusaka in multitudes to access their 20% partial benefits. Those interviewed by Camnet TV News have expressed concern that the process is too slow, while the online process is not convenient for most of them. Meanwhile, United Party for National Development UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson Trevor Mwinde has appealed to NAPSA management to put up many service points to make the process much quicker. Here's a report.
The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, is currently paying out the 20% partial withdrawal funds to eligible members, and the process has seen many people flocking to the NAPSA offices, and in the case of Lusaka, the number continues to increase as people want their something or money to help themselves out of the financial difficulties by enjoying their sweat while they can, as history shows that many people in the past have ended up dying while chasing their money. Monday, 24th April 2023, United Party for National Development UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson Trevor Mwinde interacted with the beneficiaries to understand their difficulties in the process.
We thank God na mubomba ndira mashirenu mulino kukoka hapa so palicho tulero mbaka kwebata mwikalekana na mama
yo mwana mpela tu kwaje mwana 20% ni lazima na 10 kwaje
tete kubejo kai nemi yake yo mwabomba ya.
Some people shared with Camnet News that the process is too slow, as seen from the queues.
You can do this either online or you can come here physically. I, for one, I think I tried it at first online. It couldn't work out, just twice or so. I was here this morning at 8, not before 8, no, by 8:30 I was here. And the queue by then reached as far as Central Police there. In fact, we started from that far end. We have to go around up to here, and we are still moving on. So basically, the process is quite slow and pathetic. It's not good.
So it is because at least my tape was more than 10, so that one can go fast. Because that was saying almost around 7 hours up this time. So at least that we talk to enforcement power.
Others fear that while pushing for the 20% partial withdrawal, they may end up losing their current jobs.
Oro makampani muntu omuturevo mbe bakupera 2 days oro kwisa sangati 2 days amarainzi haya rikuta ukwishi so vinafikara kwatobo ape futi netwabwere ya kampani so kaisi ndana hapo nshira imwe yakwe bati at least umuntu apoke yako kwa mfuta.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mwinde has called on the NAPSA management to accommodate the recommendations being made by the people.
They are proposing and they have recommendations that which I believe if management is to genuinely look into them, the recommendations are also varied. They are recommending and requesting that if at all many tables and outlets which may be, if they are maybe introduced so that they can help speed up the process, because many of the people that are here are from private companies and enterprises that which may not give them 1 week to be coming and going back without response. So that being the case, we also as citizens that are following up on the NAPSA issues with keen interest to making sure that service delivery is as smooth as His Excellency and his cabinet intends it to be.
Our efforts to get the perspective of NAPSA could not materialize before broadcast time. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Social scientist Innocent Kolala has observed that the opposition Patriotic Front poorly performed in the just-ended ward by-election due to lack of leadership. Mr. Kolala notes with concern that the Citizens First Party and the Socialist Party outshined the PF, which is Zambia's major political grouping. He notes that the prevailing situation is owing to the fact that the party has no substantive president, further stating that it risks going into oblivion. And Mr. Kolala has observed that pockets of political violence were experienced in the just-ended by-elections. Details are in this report.
Apart from the fact that by-elections are a justifiable, costly democratic undertaking, they are used to weigh the popularity of political parties on the ground. The governing United Party for National Development UPND scooped all the 3 April 20, 2023 ward by-elections in Salenje, Chililabombwe and Lupososhi, although the opposition Patriotic Front claims that the elections were not free and fair. But social scientist Innocent Kolala has observed that the PF is losing ground due to lack of leadership. He has observed that the PF risks losing its position to the opposition Socialist Party led by Fred Membe or the Citizens First Party, which is led by Hari Kalaba.
Is the issue of leadership. You know, the Patriotic Front, it is leading itself without a leader, and it becomes very difficult. I passed through in all these 3 by-elections. Sadly, none of those 8 presidential candidates even dared to step their foot there. So it becomes very difficult. Not even the secretariat, I think, were present there, which led, of course, people remaining without anybody to support them. It was very, very sad, whereby the ruling political party, it unleashed almost in all the three wars, cabinet ministers camped there. They were staying there, showing solidarity with the people in those areas. And henceforth, the people appreciated the message from the ruling political party.
And Mr. Kolala regrets that pockets of political violence witnessed in the just-ended ward elections contributed to among the reasons some people could not turn up to vote.
As a country, we have chosen ourselves as provided for in our constitution, the preamble, that we need to live within the tenets of democracy. And tenets of democracy entails people's participation. But there are certain issues which hinders people to participate in democracy. Among such is violence, like what transpired in Serenge, where, of course, the UPND, they had to crash with the Socialist Party. This led or sent shivers to a lot of participants there who were supposed to go and participate in an election, because they started fearing to say, if such kind of fracas could happen before the date of voting, how about when you go for voting? It will be something else. Please, Zambians, such kind of attitude and life needs to be, I think, it needs to be watched, because people need to choose the person of their own choice.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The Media Liaison Committee has advised the media practitioners in the country that the process of statutory media regulation is ongoing, despite the launch of non-statutory self-regulation last week. Committee Chairperson Enoch Ngoma has recommended that the Zambia Medical Council bill be taken to Parliament. Mr. Ngoma, who welcomed the recently launched media self-regulation, wondered how media owners can champion media self-regulation for their employees. He says the committee is committed to delivering on the mandates that the journalists across the country gave it to actualize the ZAMIC bill.
As Media Liaison Committee, we wish to advise media practitioners across the country that the process of enacting the Zambia Media Council draft bill is also ongoing. The media practitioners in 2019 at the Golden Peacock Hotel in Lusaka mandated the Technical Working Group on Media Self-Regulation to come up with a draft ZAMIC bill that should be taken to Parliament for enactment into law. And that mandate from the media practitioners is still binding, because there has been no change of position from the media practitioners. Therefore, the Media Liaison Committee is already engaging with the Ministry of Justice through the Ministry of Information and Media to continue with the process of taking the ZAMIC bill to Parliament, since it would now be difficult for the Technical Working Group to reach consensus with the proponents of the pure media self-regulatory framework. The proponents of the pure media self-regulatory framework have moved on and have decided to form and launch another framework outside the Zambia Media Council. All in all, media bodies and media practitioners are all in agreement that self-regulation is required in Zambia. Whether it is via statutory, whether it is via pure, that self-regulation is required to enhance professionalism and ethical reporting in our country. What is critical is consensus among media stakeholders.
Lusaka Magistrate Stanford Ngobola has declined an application by Acting Patriotic Front President Given Lubinda to have his alleged corruption case referred to the High Court. This was after his attempt to have documentary evidence was declined. This is in a matter in which Mr. Lubinda is facing 4 counts of being in possession of property reasonably believed to be a proceeds of crime amounting to $280,000. We have details in this report.
An attempt to have his sworn and caution statement that was recorded by the officer be part of his documentary evidence was declined Monday morning by the Lusaka's Magistrate Court. Opposition Patriotic Front Acting President Given Lubinda made an application through his defense counsel Makebi Zulu that a statement that was sought by the witness on stand, an investigative officer Mr. Tembo from the Anti-Corruption Commission, who is the arresting officer in this matter, should also be part of his evidence, arguing that he ought to be given enough document to support his case, adding that without so, he would be denied his constitutional right to defend himself. However, the state objected to his application, arguing that the case is still on and the document can only be subpoenaed at the required time, adding that the officer gave 2 warn and caution statements. The defense can proceed to cross-examine the witness on stand, even with the absence of the document. In ruling, the magistrate presiding over the case, Stanford Ngobola, stated that the defense cannot be calling witnesses when it's the state's case, citing Section 207, further adding that the defense cannot go ahead and subpoena a document. The magistrate also declined an application to refer the case to the High Court. In this matter, Mr. Lubinda has been slapped with 4 counts of being in possession of property suspected of being proceeds of crime amounting to $280,000 United States dollars. Among the 4 counts of being in possession of property suspected of being proceeds of crime, Mr. Lubinda is alleged to have, on the 3rd of March 2018, received $50,000 United States dollars from China African Cotton Limited, property suspected of being proceeds of crime. The matter has been adjourned to the 27th of April 2023 at 14 hours. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A state witness has testified before court that former President Edgar Lungu's economic advisor was given a sum of over 497,000 kwacha as his pension benefit after retirement. Dillion Mungawa, benefits officer at Public Service Pension Fund Board, also told Lusaka Magistrate Irene Wishimanga that Mr. Mwinga was retired in national interest. In this case, Mr. Mwinga, his wife, Mercy Musanja Mwinga, his son, Hakaintu Mwinga, and Palm Limited Company are charged with 72 counts of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime valued at more than 41 million kwacha and more than $238 cash suspected to be proceeds of crime. And other properties include, among others, a house in Kingsland City, a double-story flat in NAPSA housing complex in Ibex Hill, motor vehicles, and 2 properties in Chilulabombo. Details are in this report.
Anti-Corruption Commission prosecutors were Monday morning directed by the Lusaka's Magistrate Court to bring all their remaining witnesses in the alleged corruption-related case that former President Edgar Lungu's economic advisor, Ibeni Mwinga, is facing before the subordinate court. Mr. Mwinga is being tried under the Economic Financial Crimes Court together with his wife, son, and a company. The Specialized Economic Financial Crimes Court, where the accused is being tried, was established in order to help with quick recovery of public stolen assets. Tuesday, the court heard how Mr. Mwinga was retired in national interest and paid a sum of over $497,000 as his total benefits. This testimony before court was reviewed by Dillion Mungawa, a benefits officer at Public Service Pension Fund Board. The witness in his testimony further told the court that in the year 2022, specifically in December, his office was served a warrant by the Anti-Corruption Commission who were seeking information with regard to the accused benefits, adding that a document showing the accused benefits were then provided to the officers. The former President Edgar Lungu's economic advisor, Mr. Mwinga, has been slapped by the state with 72 counts. He has been jointly charged with his wife, Messi Mwinga, his son, Akanto Mwinga, and a company called Palm Limited Company. They are accused of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime, valued at more than 41 million kwacha and more than 238 United States dollars cash. The properties they are accused are alleged to have been in possession include, among others, a house in Kingsland City, a double-story flat in NAPSA housing complex in Ibex Hill, motor vehicles, and 2 properties in Tilela Wombwe. The case continues on the 26th of April 2023. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court is scheduled to pass its verdict on Tuesday, the 25th of April, in matter in which 23-year-old James Walia, an alleged abductor, is accused of escaping from lawful custody. When the matter came up before court this morning, Magistrate Kigan Litia moved the sentence date to Tuesday. In this case, Walia is jointly charged with Henry Piri and Christopher Nchenge with the charge of escaping from prison. The trio pleaded not guilty to the offense last week. Meanwhile, James Walia is facing about 54 charges of rape, abduction, assault and theft before the Lusaka High Court. He is alleged to have jointly and working together with Matthew C. Kaonga committed the offense and kidnapped about 13 women of Lusaka last year. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Just now we take our first set of commercials. When we get back, we have more local stories to join us after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Chief Mumena of the Kaunda-speaking people in Kalumbila district has urged farmers in the country to adopt conservation method of farming to enable them improve their yields. Now speaking during a field day in his chiefdom, Chief Mumena said that conservation farming has changed the face of agriculture in his chiefdom. Details are in this report.
Farms are looking healthy and a bumper harvest is expected in Chief Mumena chiefdom despite the continued rainfall in the province. The farmers here have adopted conservation farming method, an initiative introduced by Kansashi Mining Company, with the chief taking the lead.
Conservation farming, every kind of seed works. Conservation.
Kansashi Mine Corporate Affairs Manager Kyansenga Chitoshi commends the traditional leader for setting an example.
We are very, very happy to see a local traditional leader taking such a strong role in promoting these practices. I think he's set a wonderful example to his subjects, and they equally have embraced conservation farming practices.
Meanwhile, the farmers are appealing to the government to build them a maize depot.
Wasante jakine kine kai twaingira nenu miaka ya fura kai twamana mapuso muyano vakansa shine pado chotu ena kuromba ko wa ate vano evanjimi veni tuwera kujima pano katu tipana satellite.
Jen Famtoshi reporting for NAIS in Kalumbila District, Northwestern Province.
Government is committed to good agricultural policy. President Hakainde Hichilema says his government remains committed to putting in place the right agricultural policies that mean to grow the sector. Mr. Hichilema was speaking when he graced the 2023 Agri-Tech Exposition held under the theme, Stay Ahead of Technology. The head of state also called for a flip of the coin of trade and have it normalized for the benefit of farmers who are the producers. President Hakainde Hichilema says the current shortage of mealie meal that the country is facing sends a signal that farmers need to produce more maize. Meanwhile, Zambia National Farmers Union President has implored the Food Reserve Agency to consider increasing the maize flour price. Details are in this report.
As per tradition, farmers across the country do gather at GAT in Chisamba to share knowledge. The Republican president graced the event. President Hakainde Hichilema assured farmers of good policies that will grow the agricultural sector.
We have just a temporal problem that there could be queues here and there for minimum, but it's sending a signal to us that we can do better. We can actually produce more, but produce more efficiently. Yes, we know that husbandry is another. I'm talking of management. We know that genetics is another. I'm talking of seed, varieties, but all of these put together, plus the right policies, and this agri-tech export is part of the answer to the low productivity levels.
The head of state also gave a roadmap on how trade of agricultural produce can be handled. Furthermore, he called for expansion of hectareage.
One of the issues we need to do is to formalize the trade. Instead of trading through bush paths, let's formalize the trade. Let's know what our neighboring countries want. They place an order with us. We take that order back to the farmers. We work together with technology suppliers, equipment, genetics, and husbandry issues. How do we now work to increase our production efficiently, take care of the domestic demand? So when the export market demand arises, all we need to do is to manage it properly and take it back to the hectareages that we own, that we manage, and then trade smart.
Meanwhile, Zambia National Farmers Union President has implored the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, to consider increasing the maize flour price this marketing season. He also advised government to re-look at the e-voucher system.
We humbly ask you, Mr. President, to ask FRA this year to pay a good price for the farmers for maize. We are aware you have chosen Lusaka and Central, but our view is still that Central is an agricultural or the maize production area. We need to relook at it because Southern, Central, and Eastern are the major maize producers. Therefore, we know what happens when a province is under the e-voucher. We will need to discuss this matter together so that we resolve this problem.
The Agri-Tech Exposition remains a platform for information exchange. Helen Witty reporting from Chisamba, Central Province.
The Zambian government has reiterated its commitment to continue strengthening bilateral relations with Angola in order to foster economic development and infrastructure in both countries. Western Province Minister Kapelo Mbangweta said this when he received a 35-man delegation from Angola being led by Moshiko Province Governor Dr. Ernesto Mwangala in Mongo, ahead of a 3-day regional cooperation and culture exchange forum visit between the two SADC countries. And now addressing the media, Mr. Mbangweta explains that the bilateral relations between the two countries have been strengthened due to the deliberate policies government has put in place in order for mutual benefit and interaction. He noted that the numerous developmental programs such as the improvement of sectors such as health, education, agriculture, security and economic development will be improved after the regional exchange forum. Mr. Mbangweta said the exchange visits by President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia and his Angolan counterpart President Lorenzo in January this year that yielded the signing of memorandum of understanding for the development of various sectors is a step in the right direction. And Governor Mwangala said the visit to Western Province is to establish a framework aimed at enhancing regional cooperation between the two provinces in sectors of education, livestock and fisheries, agriculture, security, political health, culture, as well as economic sectors. Zambian and Angolan governments have organized a 3-day regional cooperation and culture exchange forum visit between the two SADC countries to be held in Mongo district. During the forum, various discussions are expected to be held and an MOU will be signed to seal the bilateral agreements. We take our second and last set of commercials. When we get back, we have the rest of the news. Do join us shortly.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. In our international news, Kenya's Criminal Investigation Department made over the weekend yet another gruesome discovery. Over 45 corpses have been uncovered across the southeastern country of Kilifi, and now most of the mortal remains found so far were on a land owned by self-proclaimed pastor. He was arrested for allegedly telling his followers to fast to death. A follower was rescued Sunday, April 23rd, as she would not end her fast. Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church has been detained for over a week. Mackenzie's case will be mentioned in court on May 2nd. Here is a roundup of international news.
Kenya's Criminal Investigation Department made over the weekend yet another gruesome discovery. Over 45 corpses have been uncovered across the southeastern county of Kilifi. Most of the mortal remains found so far were on the land owned by a self-proclaimed pastor. A follower was rescued Sunday as she would not end her fast.
This clearly shows that there are many who are still in there, who are continuing with this fast and possibly dying every second that passes by. That is why we are appealing to the national government to send boots on the ground.
The child belongs to the family and the community. And here, when they came here, they were tied with ropes and forced to fast for up to until they pass on. That is a big blow and a big shock to our country. What cruelty.
Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church, who is now detained, would allegedly tell his followers to fast to death. The director of rights groups Haki Africa urged for psychological counseling for members of the cult. The pastor's case will be mentioned in court on May 2nd.
Kenya's opposition has called for new anti-government protests beginning May 2nd, a spokesperson for Raila Odinga told AFP. Dennis Onyango said the new demonstrations would be limited to the capital, Nairobi. The rallies were called off nearly 3 weeks ago after President William Ruto said he would hold talks with the opposition. Ruto, however, ruled out power sharing. Odinga, who came second in last year's presidential vote, had organized bi-weekly demonstrations on Mondays and Thursdays, dubbed Mandamano since March, accusing Ruto of rigging his way to victory and of being unable to curb soaring prices. 3 people, including a police officer, died during the protests, which were also marked by looting and vandalism. Recently, there's been frustration from the opposition about Ruto's dialogue pledge. Faced with high inflation, a weak shilling, and a drought in some parts of the country, many Kenyans are struggling to feed themselves. These men and women were traveling on rickety boats in the hope of crossing the sea to reach European shores before being spotted by Tunisia's Coast Guard. The Coast Guard used speedboats to intercept the vessels, packed with 372 people, including children, before bringing them back to shore. Migrant departures off the North African coast have ticked up in recent weeks as smugglers and boat operators take advantage of calm seas at night. We have brothers, big brothers and big sisters who have children over there. Sooner or later they will understand us and accept us. We know there is a place for us over there if we make it, because that is the future. One day they will be the ones who come to our countries, God willing. Sub-Saharan Africans living in Tunisia have faced a xenophobic backlash lately after President Kais Saied accused them of seeking to distort his country's Arab identity. Many spoke of suffering racist abuse in Tunisia. When a Tunisian does something bad, we say it's just one guy. Not all Tunisians are like that. If a black person does something, the Tunisians say, oh no, they are all to blame. And they chase us away like that. After being stopped, the migrants are put on Coast Guard ships and taken back to shore. Tunisia's Coast Guard says it has stopped 13,000 people attempting to depart by sea illegally in the first quarter of 2023.
Before we end the news, let's look at sports now. And in sports news, the Zambia under-17 men's national team has beaten Senegal by 4-0 in an international friendly match played at Roiba Stadium in Algiers. Both teams were using the match to prepare for the under-17 AFCON. Zambia is in Group B alongside Nigeria, South Africa and Morocco. Meanwhile, Senegal are in Group A and will tackle host Algeria, Congo and debutant Somalia. The under-17 AFCON will run from April 29 to May 19th, and the 4 semi-finalists of the tournament will qualify for the FIFA World Cup to be played later this year. On that sporting note, we come to the end of the main news on Camnet TV. But before we go, let's look at some of the top stories that made the news this evening. 4 health workers arrested for stealing health kits. NAPSA members bemoan the pace of claiming their partial benefits. LUBINDA'S application to refer his corruption case to the High Court declined. In international headlines, more bodies dug up in Kenya cult investigations. And finally in sports, Zambia beat Senegal in an international friendly encounter. Now look at the Camnet verse for today, coming from 1 Timothy 6 verse 6. It reads, "But godliness with contentment is great gain." Thank you so much for watching on behalf of the entire production and news crew. My name is Louisiana Lupumbwe. Bye for now. God bless and enjoy the rest of our programmings on Camnet TV.